coach of 3's company, Michael Cooper.
Yes, it did for sure. If you're able to keep up with like scoring runs, that would be a good next step. But otherwise, it was great.
Their opponents making their way to the court. Their victory record, outstanding. 2 victories, 1 defeat. They are the former Big 3 champions.
So Big 3 merch at
6'11" number 8, Larry Sanders.
Jackets. Get it all at 3.com. The Big 3 game.
Co-captain for Triplets, 6'2", out of Gonzaga. Number 11, Jeremy Barco. 6'7" from Nevada, number 22, Mo Charlo. 6'8" out of Alabama, number 15, Jamario Moore. The Triplets captain, 6'7", from the University of Arkansas, number 1, Joe Johnson.
The Big 3 Sports is sponsored by Prize Picks.
She's a 3-time WNBA MVP.
I would hold on. I'd say Big 3. I would start Big 3.com for the team apparel.
And an 8-time All-Star. She is a member of the James Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The head coach of Triplets, Lisa Leslie.
Joe Johnson getting his rhythm back offensively.
After 3's company against Triplets, it'll be All Hawks against Power. Ghost Followers against Tri-State over on Big3.com, followed by Midlac against the 3's.
Yo, let's go, Fred. Kick it up, dog. Memphis, give it up one more time for Tony Allen. Gas Radio. Download the free Gas Radio app. 24/7, no commercials, uninterrupted music, over 80 stations, one of them being Big 3 Radio. So download the app.
So after the rosters, it'll be Tony Allen.
Unlimited music.
Oh, I got it. I see it now. Okay.
What up, Jay?
Yeah.
We got more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys for the kids as well. All my Ninja Turtle fans, get ready for 4-point shootout. We got a halftime performance coming up from Big Boogie. Also, Dave Green, halftime show. Ice Cube.
We're going to get both coaches in before the rules.
They want to get down. New school versus old school. Let's see who takes that crown. 4-point shootout. NLE Triplets versus Ice Cube.
Oh, he's coming now.
Also, Tommy Scott Victory Fireball Operations. He's in the building. Big Boogie halftime. Oh, Boogie, we see you now.
Perfect timing, baby. Come on, perfect, baby.
Never in doubt.
Ray, come on, let's go. CBS, turn it up right now.
Bluff City, Memphis, Tennessee, the host for the Big 3's Week 4. There is no other brand of basketball like Fireball 3. Some kids here to see these teams march toward the postseason in this exciting brand of 3-on-3 basketball. So Martin, Jim Jackson along with you here at FedEx Forum in Memphis. We've got the Triplets against 3's company. The Triplets are looking as strong as they ever have.
Well, it's because of the combination. I think they lost, in week 1, kind of getting their legs. Jeremy Parker kind of carrying away Joe Johnson, finding his rhythm offensively. One of the best coaches in the league also, too, being able to get some things done offensively. But let me tell you something. 3's company and Jeremy Parker, just call it Jeremy Parker, just the ability for him to knock down jump shots, I think it's a key. For me in the Big 3, you knock down jump shots, it opens up opportunities for you to get down lane. And 3's company and Michael Beasley trying to figure out ways to score the basketball. 15 rebounds, 17 points last week against three-headed monsters. And you duplicate that more important than anything else.
Your roster is presented by PNC Bank. Two-time MVP Joe Johnson, Jeremy Parker making MVPs in his own right, as we were just talking about. Jim, Larry Sanders, Jamario Moon, and Mo Charlo. Mario Chalmers, Michael Beasley headlining this group, and then a welcome to Tony Allen, who spent 7 seasons here. Lisa Leslie, the head coach of the Triplets, and she will be taking on her former head coach, Michael Cooper. They won 2 championships together as members of the LA Sparks. I think it's a fun dynamic to be on opposite sidelines.
I know it is. It's to compete with each other, but then against each other is something special. Now, Lisa Leslie, they're one of the best strategic coaches we have in the league.
Special to the Big 3, first team to 50 wins. Must win by 2. There was no game clock, just a 14-second shot clock. Free throws depend on where the shooter was fouled. So if you're fouled and miss a 3, you'll be shooting 1 free throw for 3 points as Joe Johnson starts things off, leaves that short. Quick pass that almost came our way to Pargo. A difficult shot. The offensive rebound not there, but so active to start for the Triplets.
Again, a lot of teams you're going to see right at the beginning of the game are going to run a set play, try to get something easy, to get an easy opportunity. That time not able to get the jump shot, but the offensive rebound creates another offensive possession, hence the foul. Now the free throw.
Larry Sanders' first season with the Triplets was with the Tri-State last year. We know him as a rim protector, but as someone who can attack the glass like we just saw.
Well, that's why, in week 1, I looked at a team that can win a championship. The addition of Sanders solidifies inside presence for the Triplets. You have the scoring prowess of both Argos and Joe Johnson. Tough team to stop and finding the rhythm.
Beasley can't get the touch on 2 tries. The shot clock goes under 10 for Pargo, who's been an outlandish scorer this year, especially from 4-point ranges. Chalmers is rejected. It's that long-range ability, but it just rings out. Pargo chasing down Chalmers, and that's left short.
Well, I like the shot, though. It was a quick decision by Michael Beasley to get it out to Chalmers. Chalmers, who relocated right behind the 3-point line of Joe Johnson. We saw so much of that, and Joe has struggled in the first week or so scoring, but starting to pick it up now. We know how potent an offensive player he can be once it starts to flow for him.
17-year NBA veteran, double-time MVP in the Big 3, one of the best players of all time. Still looking to find that stroke. But this is one why Jim is called ISO Jim.
Well, he is big body at 6'8". Go right to his defender, Julian Wright, who's 6'8" as well. Think about it now. Julian Wright, 6'8", playing power forward. It's Joe Johnson, 6'8", playing on the wing at times at point guard. His versatility is unmatched in the league.
Right, getting that assignment today is Parco mishandles it. Tries to argue the possession, but will be 3's company ball. 3's company 1-2 this season, but just a -2 scoring mark has been right in these games as Chalmers misfires.
But what you're saying is that there are critical possessions throughout the course of the game that cost them win. You know, if you're playing that close from the score, beautiful plays, no offensive foul. If you're losing games by that much and Chalmers is still on the ground, that means some critical possessions where either you're taking tough offensive shots or you're giving up too much on the defensive end.
Timeout called on the board. Triplets leading 6-0, looking to go to 3-1 this season. A 6-0 lead for Lisa Leslie and her triplet squad. We have more Big 3 action next Sunday when the Summer of Fire makes its way to Miami. Our live coverage begins at 3 Eastern on CBS. The rest of the slate to follow on Big3.com, so you can follow the entire day from anywhere. But of course, if you're in Miami, something to check out this environment. I know what kind of entertainment you're going to see as well. Some performers today here in Memphis. Chalmers is staying in the game, Jim, and that looked like he maybe took a shot toward his neck.
Maybe, I mean, being a smaller opponent, a lot of times you're going against a bigger player. The shots to the face or to the throat are very common. Beautiful move, beautiful play out of timeout like Michael Cooper to get Michael Beasley isolated.
Knowing his team needed to get on the board and going to Michael Beasley, averaging 18.3 points per game. Also first in the Big 3 in rebounds per game, a place where he has upped his value.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a smart decision, easy decision. If you give Michael Beasley isolated one-on-one, give him the space to work and let him do his thing.
Sanders just has that rim down. And Joe Johnson not able to save from going out of bounds, despite the great efforts. Triplets coming off a win against Tri-States last week. A matchup of two of the best teams in the league, but still to be sorted out as Chalmers gets the burst ahead and finishes under Johnson. Chalmers looking okay after he needed a blow. Fargo weaving through the paint, pulls up in the elbow. That's no good.
Mario Chalmers, better known as Rio, but able to slide right by his defender, get up and under. This time it's Sanders on the ground.
He is slow to get up.
Once again, now this time it's he and Chalmers, but that's Julian Wright coming on the back end. Larry Sanders goes for the offensive rebound.
It's a big body and a big collision. Beasley one-on-one with Joe Johnson, shuffles it off to right. Can't quite get his footing.
Yeah, but that's the advantage you with Joe, even though you get to switch. Joe 6'8", 235 pounds.
When he wants it in the post against Chalmers now. He's got a smile on his face, backing down Chalmers. He's going to go with the turnaround, and misses it on the glass.
Too tall, too talented that time by Joe Johnson.
Johnson missed the end of the season last year, but looking strong, finding that three-point stroke again in the last game is Beasley in the mid-range, unstoppable thing.
I like that play too. That time, Able to get a quick pick, use Michael in the middle of the court.
Things are going to happen for 3's company. Also trying to even up their record of 2-2 this season. The lob into Sanders awkwardly finishes.
But it's Gennaro Pargo, the pick and roll. Sanders rolls into it, and where Pargo was able to place the ball was very important, which was over the top of the defender, opposite side of the basket. And now Larry Sanders able to get, look, where the lead hand is at, see where the ball is at. Now he's able to go get it. That contact, Chalmers and Larry Sanders are target, but they've been involved in multiple plays early on.
Michael Cooper was walking over to the Bring the Fire, and Lisa Leslie had to wave him off. Those two, of course, have a history. Chalmers one-on-one, undersized against Sanders, goes right at his chest and gets it back. Beasley, this is everything for 4. 0 for 5 this season, and it is tough, Jim. It is tough. You have Pargo out there, and that makes what he's doing from the 4-point circle even more remarkable. 3 of 4 this season. Only 4 players have even hit 1. Sanders, the turnaround hook shot, not there. The offensive rebound for Joe Johnson, who hits the glass nearly 10 per game this year. 12-6 is the Triplets lead, trying to extend their record to 3-1, looking strong to start here in Memphis. Come on!
I know we're selling TV. Just calling the ads on TV, ads on the
Memphis, Tennessee, make some noise for the legend, Anthony Penny Hardaway!
just Nashville with the music legacy. As we're here at FedEx Forum in Memphis for week 4 of season 6 of Big 3 basketball. It is Triplets with the 12-6 lead early over 3's Company. Time for the prize picks entry of the day. Let's take a look. The two most popular projections for today's game, Judas Michael Beasley and Joe Johnson.
Well, two players that can go get buckets, both coming off 17-point games last week. And Michael right now, 17.5. Joe Johnson again showing that he's getting his rhythm offensively. Johnson early with 6 points. Beasley has 4. See the field goal shooting percentages right there.
Download the Prize Packs app to play along with the official daily fantasy partner of the Big 3. Triplets, 5 of 13 shooting. There's 3's Company, 3 of 12, trying to find their cohesion. Hollis Thompson hands it off. Tony Allen in his return to Memphis misses his first look.
Yeah, beautiful play at that time. It was Larry Sanders able to intimidate Tony Allen a little bit inside.
Beasley dumps it off to Thompson behind the three-point arc. Misfires, chased down by Johnson. Pargo, don't want to leave him open because there's that.
Yeah, it wasn't a 4-point shot, but it was a 3. He'll take it.
He's still a 38% shooter from there. He's a three-point threat. Beasley tries to go glass again. Allen flips it up and in. This big applause for Allen when he was introduced. I saw him even talking with ushers around here who remembered him from his 7 seasons. Just a big smile on his face the whole time.
Well, that physical, the grindhouse back in the day, and the way they played, he was, of course, the catalyst on the defensive end with some great Memphis basketball teams.
I mean, when I think Grind City, I think of him.
Oh, yeah,
he really helped develop
Zach
that
Randolph,
identity. Yeah,
you know,
that's
just
right.
that identity. We're going to grind you down, force you to have to work for each and everything. It may not be pretty at times, but it's very effective.
The 4-point shot is good, and Pargo is a ridiculous 4 for 5 this season. It's just like any other shot to him. That leads the Big 3 as well.
Yeah, his brother Jeremy had 3 coming into this game who's not present today, so you keep it in the family, keep it within the same team as well. Big bro showing how it needs to get done and trying again. Why not?
Once more. It's going to hurt his percentage from 80%. It's going to be dropping now after that. So Joe going to work. It's left short. Beasley off the pick and roll. Beautiful move. But again, the glass isn't working for him. But 3's Company comes away with 2.
Yeah, that's Beasley too. The shooter knows where the ball is coming off. He saw the quick jump to be able to get it back up and in. The rebound that time. 3rd rebound for Michael Beasley. Beautiful play.
Pargo drops it off. Sanders is hacked. Allen raises his hand. No denial there. So Tony Allen picks up the foul on what could have been a monstrous jam.
The help, and this is where 3-on-3 is difficult because you have a drive, you help baseline, and now you don't have weak side help and bring the fire.
And they are going to bring the fire. Taco Bell bring the fire. 2 players involved in that shooting foul going 1-on-1. You get the points for wherever that shooter was fouled. Each team gets 1 challenge per half. Michael Cooper has both feet on the court. Trying to coach up Larry Sanders going against the 6-time all-defensive player. Sanders attacks and Allen says no.
Oh wait, Michael Cooper was in the defensive stand back there on the sideline. He knew exactly, and that's a really good use of bringing the fire with Tony Allen being the smaller opponent, but Tony able to anticipate when Larry Sanders is going to bring the ball up. Yes, it's physical. Yes, it's contact, but no, it's not a foul. According to the official, Tony's like, yo, you remember me.
We have seen defense rule the day and bring the fire, and how happy Tony Allen is as he takes his seat on the bench.
Quick work.
Some lessons to be learned from his defense, David Hawkins in game 1 to read where the ball is being put. Thompson in tough spots. And Michael Cooper has to use a timeout with his team trailing 19-14 against his former player in Lisa Leslie. Getting closer to the end of the first half, a tight one here in Memphis. Lisa Leslie's squad up 19-14 against 3's company. Wednesday, August 2nd, TV's original Guilty Pleasure is back when Big Brother returns for its 25th season. With new house guests and new twists, this will be the wildest Big Brother yet. Season premiere Wednesday, August 2nd on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Beasley quickly with the trigger from 3. 5-point lead for Triplets, looking to go to 3-1 this season. Underneath, the patience by Beasley pays off for an easy 2.
Easy 2. Can I give a shout out to the Memphis crowd, the crowd that came out to support, you know, Ice Cube and the Big 3. Also celebrities in the house. Earthquake just came in, the comedian Earthquake, and of course the Memphis legend himself, Penny Hardaway, in attendance to watch Joe Johnson drop some buckets.
And great to see what he's been doing as the head men's basketball coach at Memphis too.
Yeah, and it's a tough gig. I mean, listen, Penny grew up here, so a legend. He played college basketball here. You come back to coach your alma mater. It's not an easy task because high expectations.
And what that program has built itself into that you take over.
Well, yes, you know, it started too. He had an excellent AAU program, another Bring the Fire. You know, that transitioned himself into the head coaching position at Memphis, which is not easy in today's world. But again, having the expectations piled upon you also adds a little bit more to the fold itself.
We saw Joe Johnson there paying his respects to Penny in the house as Lisa Leslie will bring the fire. Is Mario Chalmers going up against Jamario Moon, who has the length against the former Jayhawk. And just blows right past him, but can't get the spin.
And Jamario, that time he played on Mario's right side, so he gave him the left-hand drive. And Mario tried to use the reverse layup, get it in, but once again, the defense. Now, we haven't seen Bring the Fire yet, have we? Game
I don't
one,
think so.
It was a couple times. Defense won.
I think it's been all defense. That goes out of bounds off of Joe Johnson.
I'm going to finish something up with Penny Hardaway. We'll get into it a little bit later. The younger generation doesn't know how special a player before his injuries Penny was. I mean, comparisons to Magic, yes, but his athleticism separated that part of it, but his unselfishness, his vision on the court, his playmaking ability, unmatched, man, at the time. I wonder if he still has some of those vignettes, those dials he had with Little Penny.
Oh,
back in the
fantastic.
day. Yeah. I got to ask him about that.
Johnson is fouled, but for those reasons you're talking about, Jim, I think that's why it is so exciting to see what he's doing at the college level.
And there's the young men that play for him. You see a block up top at the body, got him the wisdom that he's able to impart upon them, not just about the game of basketball. I mean about the game of life and how they both intertwine. Yes, your goal is to play in the NBA, maybe overseas, but how can you become a better man after you've gone through his program? I think that's as important as sending those young men to play professionally.
Or whether they don't end up playing professionally, still those lessons you take from someone who's lived the kind of life he has, the success that he's had as well. You can't put that away off glass. You're right to give credit to Memphis here, showing up, supporting the big three here. City Blues. Stolen away, and Beasley easily flushes that home.
And keeping it close. 3's company right now, only down 3.
Julian Wright, slow to get up. He's going to look for help from the training staff, and Cooper coming over as well.
And I don't know that time if Julian Wright, if that was when he tried to plant when he was coming in that it turned over, or did he get tangled up with another player? We have to kind of see where that came from. And right now, Wright is right. Oh, he's limping already before he got to that offensive spot. So it may have happened when he was in traffic a little bit. Could have tweaked it, and he's been on the ground for a little while. So
And he is favoring that right foot right now.
Yeah.
He's being helped off the court along with Michael Cooper putting no weight on that right foot. Unfortunate to see.
And it takes a big body off the board for Michael Cooper and 3's company.
He's coming off a 14.11 rebound performance. Had a game with 4 assists in their Week 3 win against Three-Headed Monsters to avoid going 0-3. But just a solid 7-point per game. He'll shoot efficiently as well. Finish underneath the basket. Hope to see him soon. And then he heals up soon. Tony Allen back in after getting his stop on defense on Bring the Fire. Chalmers was looking for him from long range and will get his own rebound. Decides against that 4-point shot with Johnson on him. He's clearing it out. Long 2 is good.
Just a little step back that time. He knew he was going to beat him a turn the corner on Joe Johnson. And once he got deeper into the paint, Joe would have the advantage size-wise. So a little step back. Beautiful crossover by Pargo.
Collision underneath Moon, and Chalmers go flying. And so does that 3 in the air off the hands of Johnson. 3 of 4 last week after he started 4 of 16 from beyond the arc.
Got his legs up underneath him. It's going to take too long for Joe to figure it out. But Lisa Leslie does such a great job of putting her players in opportunistic positions to score the ball.
Michael Beasley going to the free throw line to shoot 1 for 2 points. And you said it in the open, Jim, you felt like Lisa Leslie is one of the most strategic coaches in the Big 3.
She is. I mean, because the plays she designs, spreads the court that allows movement, the spacing is proper, but the execution, she's all about body movement, ball movement, not a lot of one-on-one unless Joe has an opportunity. But if you look at the offense, a lot of it is downscreen, pick and rolls, cuts.
I was revisiting her career today as the WNBA All-Star game was today in Las Vegas, just thinking about what a momentous career that she had, and then being a top-notch coach and a championship coach as well in men's professional basketball.
Now, she's one of the faces of the history, of course, of the WNBA, what she was able to accomplish, not just from a college perspective, but what she was able to accomplish on the professional side.
Beasley takes it in for 2, just so quick off that first step. He's got 14. We are tied up. Another game where one team has had to battle back from an early deficit. 24 to 24. We are tied up at the moment here in Memphis.
You get 30 seconds. Hold on when you're ready.
Treated to some great basketball here at FedEx Forum. We are tied up here in the first half, 24 apiece for Triplets and 3's company. And close to halftime here in Hayden number 2. Fans showing up to cheer on the big 3. Visit Tony Allen, who played 7 seasons here. See Lisa Leslie getting her squad ready to go. And I was just thinking too, Jim, about how she was the first woman to dunk in the WNBA. We're now seeing high school girls who are touching the rim and dunking.
More athleticism, the training has paid off not only in the men's game but the women's game, because you see a lot more women athletically gifted, using that to their advantage in the games.
Tied up at 24. Pargo turns on the Jets after the timeout. Lisa Leslie will get a basket. She does there. And that brings us to halftime. Triplets leading 26-24, but a battle here in Memphis. Triplets trying to go to 3-1 this season. We've got plenty more on your way. Triplets against 3's company. Joe Johnson, Mario Chalmers, Michael Beasley, Tony Allen all on the floor here in the Big 3.
Sometimes they don't really think
When are these performances happening? No, I mean, I think Champa is here, but I assume this is when it would be happening. Maybe it's later in the night. A text from my husband. Text from my husband is talking. Oh gosh, who is this? Sorry. Keep up to date on all of the action. Back here in Memphis, great performance by Big Boogie here at halftime. 26-24 is the Triplets lead so far. Welcome back inside FedEx Forum. Slow Martin, Jim Jackson along with you. And that was a really tightly contested first half. Both teams really played some strong ball.
Strong basketball. Listen, the Triplets are tough to stop, in regards to scoring the basketball, but I thought 3's company fought their way back into it. Less turnovers, less mistakes. I think 3's company has a really good chance of winning this. If you get the ball into Michael Beasley's hands, in particular in the middle of the court, one-on-one, it's been a positive side. Even with Larry Sanders defending Defensive Player of the Year, you get these mismatches and switches. It's hard to help, but you got to close down those lanes, try to force the ball out of Michael Beasley's hands. And speaking of which, the top 2 performers haven't disappointed. Joe Johnson early, drive in the post. Like Michael Beasley, get the ball out of his hands, and both in double figures. Beasley with 16 points, very efficient, 7 for 14. Joe Johnson, 11 points. But look at the rebounds, who both with, plus 5 rebounds. Beasley with 6, Joe Johnson with 7, who's been doing an excellent job as his scoring has gotten up. Joe Johnson, but one of the top rebounders in the league as well.
That's what makes them so well-rounded in the Big 3 as well. We know that they can score. We know they can pour in points. We know who they were as NBA players too, and how it's carried over to the Big 3. But that is something that makes them so valuable for these teams that are eyeing championships.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back to this. So when we came back on, you introduced who was kind of performing at halftime, and we have a bunch of people that are performing. And I know you got Big Boogies right there on your playlist with Spotify, right? I know you got it. You and your husband listen to that in some downtime when you're up in Minnesota while you cleaning up the yard or doing some yard work or housework, right?
Oh, yeah, plowing the driveway, you know?
There you go.
Luckily not this time of year. Start of the second half here at FedEx Forum. Adjusting that shot is Sanders, and then he puts it in.
trying to get that isolation mismatch with Thompson on Sanders, and Sanders gave some space, but those long arms, they able to deflect the shot, but then smartly recognized he was right by the basket, put it right back up.
Even beyond shot blocking, such a great defensive presence for the Triplets. Chalmers calls his own number.
Well, I mean, part of it too, if you look at the NBA, college basketball, more so NBA, being able to guard in space is very important. That's why you've gotten away from the traditional centers, so to speak, for more of the versatility. Speaking of which, with Joe Johnson, to be able to guard in space, because there's a lot of pick and roll games, a lot of plays that get into isolation, and you have to be able to guard in space, and that's something that Sanders were able to do.
And then with how the game is so spread out, sideline to sideline, how do you still command the paint? How do you still protect the rim?
You mean in
Oh, just
NBA?
across the board.
Oh yeah, you know, you see it in the WNBA. It's the same thing in regards to having shooters patrol the perimeter. You can't guard everything. And being able to spray and kick it means dribble drive. If the help comes, now you kick it out. So you put your defense in a precarious position on what to take away because of that outside shooting.
I mean, it's not just because Lisa Leslie is on the sidelines, but long live the big. Although she was an early adopter, bringing her game outside the three-point line. She was Beasley is fouled and has a three-point play opportunity.
Well, I will say this, in college basketball, in particular for men, post players are really prominent and dominant because the game is still kind of built around a little bit. If you have a dominant center, you can benefit. But unfortunately, from an NBA perspective, as you saw in college basketball this year, a lot of the top big men didn't get drafted or got drafted late because the game didn't fit the NBA.
Pargo nets another three. He's got 12 points. You're exactly right. When you get to the point where those advantages are razor thin, things are going to change. Beasley trying to turn the corner, falling away so smooth. He's got 20. Beasley, the co-captain of this 3's company team, trying to stave off a 1-3 record as Pargo again for three, not there. Chalmers left by himself, can't knock it down. Johnson into the teeth of the defense. Fluid offense for both teams, and Beasley is just going to go right back to the free throw line. This last game, 17 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. First in rebounds per game this year. I mean, he's someone who could potentially have an MVP-type season, but that's going to go along with those wins.
Well, I mean, you got to win. I mean, that's the thing about the numbers can be put up. Undoubtedly, Michael Beasley can put up numbers, but we always go back to, do those numbers result in wins? Now, a lot is not built upon or predicated on his shoulders. That's what you have teammates for. So there's no doubt that he's going to do his part, but at the end of the day, if you want to compete for those individual awards, those W's have to pile up as well. Be reflective of that.
Johnson in the lane, falling away, unstoppable. Just baiting the defense, getting exactly what he wants, and Beasley's been doing the same thing. Another trip to the free throw line for him.
Put the ball in the middle of the court. You can't help in. It's a little bit tougher, especially if you have Chalmers who just hit a three-point shot on the perimeter. You go to his side, Janelle Pargo can't help as much. So Michael Beasley smartly was able to utilize his quickness a little bit and pick up that foul.
One shot for 2 points for Beasley. Unique rules to the big three. If he had been fouled on a three, would have been 1 shot for 3 points. Same for a 4-point shot. But that time fouled while shooting a 2. And 3's company takes over the lead, 35-33.
Keep our eye on at the bottom of the screen the Triplets with 3 fouls so far. The 3's company kind of maneuver their way, pick up some more fouls, utilize the free throw line as we come to down the stretch of this game to their advantage.
shots off here.
Well, the shot clock up top, but the one on the floor by the scorer's table is also out, so it's a malfunction all the way around. So it looks like it's going to have to be more vertical. Oh, here it is. They got it back up and working.
I got my hopes up there for a second. I was going to turn around the crowd and see it working again, but luckily we've got it up here, so everybody has got a good view.
We have no idea, right?
14-second shot clock here in the big three. No game clock.
And they didn't call the foul on that shooting foul. It was more out of bounds. So still only one foul for 3's company compared to 3 for the Triplets.
Johnson again. Backing down Thompson. The shimmy shake left short. Facing some pushback from Pargo. He's going to reset. Thompson around Sanders, and it pops out. Johnson slices through for 2.
But that's the quick night right there with Joe Johnson. Sanders got it out to Joe really quick. Tony Allen late to the party. He got caught on Joe's right side. And Joe smartly continued down the lane.
And a three-point play opportunity for Chalmers, powering it up in the pinks.
Chalmers. That time there, Sanders wanted to bait Chalmers into coming closer to use his size, but Chalmers put that left shoulder right into the middle of that Triplets jersey, created that space and picked up the foul.
It's 37-35, 3's company on top here in the second half. It has been back and forth to start here in Memphis.
We're going to put 1 minute on the clock. 1 foot must be in the circle. On the clock in the circle. 1 minute on the clock. We're going to hit that big 4-point shot. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh no.
We got it.
You want to hang here? You want a beer?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, doing good. Three's Company currently with the advantage here in the second half, 37-35. Let's take a look at today's monster moment. We'll go back to game one, and it was Brandon Moss reaching orbit for this block.
Yeah, you know, right here, the help side defense, he totally changed the game for three-headed monsters. But not only that, listen, he had 2 blocks, 18 points, but he had a lot more of the influential plays where he was just around attempting to block that dissuaded his opponent from making some shots.
You could tell in his Big Three debut, he was energized. He wanted to make a statement, wanted to show off the springs he has, and he did all those things. Yeah,
well, once he slowed down and understood where he was at, the excitement kind of wore off a little bit. He was able just to play. He was very effective. The defense that time by Tony Allen.
And he'll know from Coach Theus to avoid 4-point shots next time.
Yeah, well,
Chalmers, long range 2, drains it. Now a 5-point lead for Three's Company, who stormed back in the second half. Had an early deficit. Joe Johnson leading the way for Triplets, being guarded by Allen.
Too little.
Forces him to kick out to Moon. The short corner falls out.
Yeah, but those are shots you got to make. If Joe is going to attract that double team, and you're in the short corner, you got to be able to make that shot.
Chalmers wants to take things over. Too strong from 3. Chased down out of bounds. So you know Joe is going to make the right decision for this team.
Yeah, but that makes, when you don't make those shots, it makes the double team a lot of times more effective.
Take a look at the Microsoft Player of the Week, Dante Green of the Killer Threes, which you can see later on Big3.com. 28 points, 12 rebounds. Well, next week's Player of the Week.
They got the game. They got the win too, Sloan. Which more important, they were able to beat the Aliens too. So at 2-1, feeling good about themselves in the position to go 3-1 this afternoon.
That was a huge 3. That last play making it a 2-point game. Beasley, Johnson on him, gets no space. Johnson stuck with him. Oh, great effort, almost going into his team's bench, trying to say he was pushed.
Let's take a look at the end of the play. Right there, he was pushed. And, you know, it may not be a lot, but it's enough to take the opportunity for Moon to stay in bounds away. And that's where the argument comes into play. A missed call that time by the officials, and now they got Pargo for a foul. Now, again, that's team foul number 5 for the Triplets, and that's now Three's Company is in the penalty. And like I said in game 1, when you get that opportunity to get in the penalty, drive the ball right now. Create some contact, pick up the foul, get to the free throw line, make it and retain possession.
You're right about the possession, and you also get that 1 free throw shot for 2 points. Timeout called on the floor, a tight one here in Memphis.
That was the 30.
Three's Company up by 2, trying to avoid 1 and 3 because, Jim, that seems like a differentiator. That record at really this time is we're at the halfway point if you're looking at making the playoffs.
Playoff teams got about average a little under 2 wins a game. They get to the playoff. The championship teams are usually 2-1 after game 3. Win the championship, so the numbers are going to dictate and tell you kind of where you sit based on the history of the league, and falling to 1 and 3 is not going to help. The Triplets want to stay above 500, get to 3-1, which gives them a better opportunity themselves to separate and reach the playoffs. But very critical game right now for Three's Company.
Triplets led 19-10, but since it's been a 30-18 run, so in favor of Three's Company in the latter parts of this game as they inch closer and closer to 50 points to call game. Moon after the kick out, and this time he's got it.
Well, but that time he made 3's company pay for, it wasn't quite a double team by Michael Beasley, but he shadowed Joe Johnson inside and basically gave Jamario Moon the three-point shot, and Moon able to knock it in.
Beasley leaves it short. He's cooled down here in the second half, and then he fouls Johnson. Beasley, though, leading all scorers with 24 points, 9 rebounds. Hasn't even needed a three-pointer to get to that mark.
When knowing Lisa Leslie, she's going right back to Joe in the post to see if they're going to double team again. I mean, it's just smart basketball. Now this time, Michael Beasley is on Joe, so you don't have to double team as much. And Chalmers just fell asleep between the pick with Pargo, Janero Pargo coming out of bounds, and Joe with the easy dime inside.
I don't know if Coach Leslie thought it would be that easy.
Nah, but she drew it up, and the switch happened. That's why you got to communicate early, especially the defender. These guys setting the screen, and really good response that time by Mario Chalmers to get this game back to within 1 point.
It's just such a differentiator when you can score off of out of bounds, out of timeouts too, every single time.
And at the free throw line.
That's right. Kick out to Johnson, well contested, and a good tip out to Pargo. Johnson wants it back off a curl, and he'll draw the whistle. Triplets taking back the lead behind Joe Johnson's 18 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists he's got as well. Pargo with 12.
Just with the benefit of having the Joe Johnson in late game situations is beneficial. It's a tough shot that time by Pargo because he doesn't have to score, but he attracts so much defensive attention that it opens up opportunities for his teammates to score. Speaking of which, Beasley getting to that left hand, soft touch inside.
Rising and hitting in the paint. He's been able to get there at will today. Give him 26. Johnson almost loses his footing as we get closer and closer. Beasley, 4th straight double-double, leading the big three. And rebounding as Pargo finishes. Pargo's hit a 4-point shot today. Couple threes as well. Beasley one-on-one with Joe Johnson, standing his ground. The spin, well contested, no good. Johnson takes advantage and will go to the free throw line.
The strength of Joe Johnson didn't allow Michael Beasley to back him in. Just watch right here. This is just great effort, but then Joe relocates behind the three-point line and didn't settle before taking the three. He got himself inside it. I like it. A little bit. You don't give Joe an opportunity to have an easy look from the free throw line, so you force him to play one-on-one against Hollis Thompson.
Joe Johnson in this bring the fire, as we said, against Hollis Thompson. Johnson, the jab fake, burying him deep, and a foul.
But notice how Joe didn't play. Joe knew exactly what spot he wanted to get to. Hollis jumped to his left hand for whatever reason, gave him the right hand drive right here, and Joe used that big body. And watch at the end, right there, the backside hand, the right arm was wrapped around Joe Johnson's waist. Fisher on the baseline was able to identify that and called the foul, so now you got 2 points for that.
3's company ball. After that, Beasley hanging in the air and one.
And guess what? I believe that's the 6-5 for the Triplets team-wise. So you get an opportunity for a three-point play that would tie this game up. But then the possession goes back to 3's company, if I'm correct, in the foul situation. With this team foul number 6 for Triplets.
Beasley has been relentless in getting to the paint. He completes the three-point play, and now both teams have point game. Tied at 47. You will not want to miss the ending. We'll be right back. play completed by Michael Beasley to tie this game up at 47. Now both Triplets and 3's Company have point game. The first to 50 in the Big Three comes out victorious. The Big 3's Company evening its record at 2-2. The Triplets trying to move to 3-1. They have a +10 scoring margin. A strong season so far.
We're here in the bonus. So that's what Michael Cooper is trying to tell them right now, that we're in the bonus, and that's why he took the time out, so he can draw up a play so they can retain possession. Look, the Triplets thought they were going to have the ball, but Michael Cooper, well aware of what the rules say. And again, that's why it's so important that you understand that dynamic to the 3-on-3 rules.
Beasley saying that's exactly why I attacked hard at the rim. I got the 3-point play, but also put it in a bonus situation.
And knowing Michael Cooper, he's probably drawing up something to get something to the basket, not a 3-point shot right here.
Beasley against Johnson, a brick wall yet again. The bump, the shot, and the finish not there.
Big time rebound by Jamario Moore. Oh!
Pargo tries to end it and does! The sharpshooter comes up in heroic fashion. 3-1 is Triplets.
Defense can win you games. An excellent defense by Joe Johnson. The big time, how do you finish your defense? You rebound the basketball. And how about the awareness, one of Jamario Moon to get the rebound, but Pargo to run over to an open spot inside.
This is our shot of the game presented by Hyundai. Could come at a bigger time for Pargo.
But that's just execution, knowing where you're at on the court, time and score, and the quick decision making by Moon and Pargo allowed them to walk out of here this afternoon with a win, and more importantly, now they're 3-1.
Jeremy Pargo comes up huge in his game. 17 points, just 3 shy of Joe Johnson. Our final score, 50-47. Stay tuned for more Big Three action with ball hogs versus power coming up here next. We'll return to Memphis after these messages.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time, please welcome the North Memphis City Commissioner Ford, City Councilwoman Robinson, City Commissioner Sherman, and City Commissioner Thornton, as they make a special presentation.
How about Steph hit a hole-in-one?
What?
Yeah, he's at Lake Tahoe.
God.
So he made the putt yesterday, the walk-off putt. All right. Not fair.
422 on the start time coming up. Okay. 422.
We have two resolutions we have to read to the city on behalf of myself, Councilwoman Patrice Robinson, County Commissioners, and Brittany Thornton. We would like to give you two resolutions on behalf of the County Commission and the City Council. Now, I want to simply say this. I can read everything in this proclamation, but I'm not going to do that because everything that ICU does, and we know this for the Black community, for our youth, I can put everything in a resolution, and then we can wait. It's unbelievable that ICU does not just for the South Central Los Angeles community, but for communities all over the United States. So I'm only going to read 2 lines from this resolution, and we're going to make sure that we frame this for you and get it to the city.
Somebody probably just scripted it. Yeah, I'll just look at that. Thank you, Seth.
Whereas we acknowledge all the citizens of Memphis and Shelby County, Tennessee, that we gather here today to honor and recognize the outstanding contributions and dedication of ICU by the name of O'Shea Jackson Sr. to our community. And whereas ICU's unwavering commitment to empower the youth of Memphis through the Young Green Basketball League has provided countless opportunities for our young people to excel in all of their endeavors. The Mama Feed You Better Leave My Children Alone Foundation, the Pamela Moses Rise Up America, the Children of Young Green, and the entire body of
by our Mr. O'Shea Ice Cream Jackson Sr. as a positive influence on the youth of Shelby County, Tennessee.
Big 3 CBS Sports is sponsored by Hyundai. It's your journey.
We're in Graceland for week 4, but the Big 3 Summer of Fire is coming to a city near you, including upcoming stops at Miami, Boston, Charlotte, and Washington, D.C. Go to